What is strategic thinking? What is strategy? Let's have a look at how it is that you can bring strategy into your life and your future. This is a place where those who suspect they're innately wise, brilliant and powerful come to learn how to transform their lives, one cognition, one realization and one blinding flash of the obvious at a time. We are the innovators, the record breakers, the world makers and creators of all kinds. We supersede the suppressive worldview of mass ignorance and awaken the strength within. We are waking up to our innate secrets. My name is Dr. Mark Postles and welcome to the Innate Secrets podcast. Sir William Osler said that when schemes are laid in advance, it's surprising how often the circumstances will fit in with them. And this is the future thinking and the future design that is a strategy. So the precursor of any change in the vision of something better is what we're talking about here. It's like we need to make sure that we get some order into the vision that we've created. Otherwise, it's just a dream. So in order for anything new to be discovered or invented, there has to be a vision of the possibility. And then this includes, amongst other things, your health, your wealth, and your relationships. And they're key areas of your life, because if we don't strategize them, then we're just open to whatever happens to come up. So when you have a clear vision of what you want, then you're well placed to create the circumstances and situations that support the vision. So let's look at the essential ingredients of bringing the vision into reality. So as we've discussed in previous podcasts, outcomes are critical for direction. So an outcome, so we used an example previously around, could be like heading west. Well, you never get to west, but the direction is where you're going. The direction of on the compass is west. Now, you're going to have goals set up, as we've previously discussed, along the way, which are very sensate and very, very organized in terms of your mind. You know exactly what the goal looks like and feels like and tastes like and sounds like, even though you may never have seen it. It's out there, and there's a compelling draw towards it. But that's all in a mental state. It's in the visual field. It's in the ideation of what's possible, and it's so important and so powerful. However, without a sensate, down to earth strategy, we are in trouble. We can't get traction to get towards that vision as easily as if we've got something that gives us a roadmap. So a strategy is a word that's derived from the military. It involves a large-scale, long-range plan. So a strategy is something that could span many, many years. It could be a short-term thing, but it's generally long-term. And, it may be a lifetime strategy. It could be at least a decade or five-year strategy. So it's a method or a series of maneuvers that are designed to obtain a declared outcome or reach a certain goal. So that's where the length of time varies, because it could be for a goal which may be attainable in a year, and it also could be for an outcome which could be a lifetime. So one of the key areas here is to firstly identify the key things that will move the needle for you in the area that you've chosen. So these are when you're looking at a strategy, look at how it is that you want to get to where you want to get to. What's needed. I suggest you consider each area of your life and that you break that down. So it's not about having every area of your life equally supported in a given time. So in other words, there's a lot of conjecture on this one, but I certainly take a position that balance is bullshit. That having everything in your life all balanced at all times is impossible. It's something that we have balance over time or not, but we can have balance over time, and that is there's a time for for excessive activity. There's a time for rest and relaxation. There's a time for relationships. There's a time for our spiritual connection. There's a time for our mental thinking. There's a time for our working on our physical body. There's a time for our family. There's a time for humanity. There's a time for our businesses. You got the idea? So there's not necessary. It's not necessary for them to be happening all at the same time. And that's a key distinction, I think, in this context, that we want to make sure that the areas that we want to work on are identified. And I personally will take 1 or 2 areas of my life and dedicate the next year to that. So, and over time, I've done a whole year with communication and working, upskilling in communication and working at communication drills and exercises and reading communication books and attending communication workshops and seminars, conferences. And then another year maybe on relationships and work on relationships and identify areas and create strategies around my relationships, and another year maybe on finances, and then on marketing, and then a given technique and so forth. So look at your life from that perspective. Be strategic about it in terms of not trying to squeeze everything in and do everything at once. It's about identifying and reducing the amount of noise that's going on in your life so that you can be focused in a given strategy or a number of strategies. So I would say, choose according to your ability to deal with it and the immensity of the task. Choose strategies that are limited in number. So pick 1 or 2 areas in your life that you really, really want to move the needle, and that becomes your strategic activity. So based on that, then look at your purpose, look at what it is that's your driver in this particular area, what your outcomes are and what your goals are. So that'll define the playing field. And so then it's like, well, what's the strategy that you're going to employ that gets you the most traction? And just get rid of the lesser ones, and the top ones are the absolute priority. So within that, then look at the way in which you're going to get there. And this is a planning exercise. It's big picture strategic. What do you need? Who do you want on your side? Who can you help that is going to have the skills that you don't have? Where are you going to get the resources from? How are you going to play that out? How are you going to utilize your time? And that's a critical factor in terms of getting stuff done, or having exercising this so-called military exercise, where you will plan it out, look at it strategically, and say, how can I take these resources and turn them into what I'm wanting? And that is primarily your intellect, your skills, your time, your money, and your connections. There's a number of areas there that you can draw on, and if you don't have that, then you have to exchange something for it. Commonly we exchange money, but not always. You may exchange your time and your skills for something that you need. So if it's a project, I don't know, say it's creating a house, there's a strategic plan for that. There's a timeline that you would set up. There are certain steps along the way. You don't go to the paint shop and look at paint colors, or the fittings shop and look at fittings before you've spoken to the council and got the permits, and you've spoken to the excavator people and got the plan for the footings and the slab and all the foundational stuff. So you layer them into a structure. And it's the same thing with getting to be a supreme athlete in your area of interest, or you're accumulating $1 squillion or pounds or euros in into your bank account. There's a strategy to that, and there's a timeline that is involved, and there are subdivisions and sections to that timeline, so that you make sure that you do the basic foundational stuff first. You get yourself structured. You be willing to apportion time, and this is a strategic objective here, that you make sure that your expectations are in line with your strategy, because often we have expectations which are way outside of what's physically possible, and so we set ourselves up for failure. We set ourselves up for upset by not adhering to the expectations, or not creating or being aware of our expectations initially. So, that's the rollout of a strategy. And every successful business will have a strategy. Successful relationships will have strategies, and successful people have strategies in many different areas of their life, but they're always congruent with their purpose. And I think that's a really important thing, to make sure that you're not doing something that's contrary to your purpose, because otherwise you'll sabotage yourself. So in this world of fast-paced change, it's the person with the clearest vision, and the best strategy, and the most effective tactics which follow strategy, that has the greatest ability to thrive and bring ideas into reality, to allow that innate wisdom to come through and to manifest and to create in this as a human being. So this week, begin to create your strategic plan in the key areas of your life, and it could be your health, it could be relationships, it could be wealth, and make sure that they're big, they're robust, they're forward-looking, and they're possible, and that the strategic plan fits into that. So the strategic plan handles not every little detail, but it handles it's like a flow chart, handles the if this then that, along the way. It's like making sure that you have all the plans in place, and then the plan B's in place, and maybe the plan C, so that you can navigate the play. And think of it like, if you're a team, you'll have a certain strategy for a certain time in the game, and there could be a change in the situation. Therefore, we go to plan B, and there's a code call for that, and all the field shifts around, and then you put plan B into action, you see. So make sure that you're doing the same with your life and your business and your relationships and your health, and making sure that you know where you're going, and that then minimizes noise, it minimizes distraction, and allows you to be far more effective. This amazing human being filled with the innate wisdom that is you and your life. So I'm Mark Postles. Catch you on the next podcast. Let us show you how to fire your brain in ways that serve you, so that you can be confident, connected, and bring joy and passion into what you do every day. Get a free copy of my book, The Innate Model. Go to theinnatemodel.com/free book.